is now taking off, why AI has become so important, right? So let me tell you first that why AI has been so much important. The first thing which I will be talking about is the data. What is actually the data we are talking about in AI? In AI, the data is being required. So we can say that like AI needs a huge amount of data to learn, and then digitization of society is providing the available raw material to fuel its advances, so that as much as the data is there, we can provide the more sophisticated or more better model for the devices or any algorithm or any software, isn't it? For example, like as you all know that Internet of Things has become a huge bang in the market nowadays. So what is that? It is actually creating or accumulating the data in a through the help of sensors, or you can say social or mobile computing, or anything, right? And then that data is being used to train the AI models, isn't it? So we can say that it is not at all surprising in front of you all that nowadays AI is being used in many of the companies like Amazon, Apple, Google, Microsoft, and many more giants who are actually working upon AI and deep learning techniques. Next is which I will be talking about is cheaper computation. Cheaper computation means that in the past, even as AI algorithms have improved, hardware remained a constraining factor, isn't it? So in the recent advances, we can say that new hardware and new computational models, particularly if we talk about GPUs, have accelerated the adoption of AI. As you all know that GPU has gained popularity in the AI community for the ability to handle high degree of parallel operations, right? And what GPU can do is GPU can provide a platform where you can perform parallelly so many operations, so that it can be used to make a huge or complicated model. For example, you can say that you are performing matrix multiplication in very smaller in a picoseconds of time. So how is it possible? It is possible only if the processor is very strong, if the processor is of high end. And in the same way, we can say that with the help of such machines or processors, we can like give it to the deep learning algorithms, right? So we can say that CPUs have, what is GPU? It is like, it is known as like extension of CPU, or you can say advanced version of CPU, right? That is being actually used in AI applications. And the next thing which I want to tell you is that more sophisticated algorithms. More sophisticated algorithms means it says that higher performance and less expensive compute is also helping the researchers to develop and train more advanced algorithms, right? Because they were not limited to the hardware constraints as they were in the past. Nowadays, the things has been more improved, and as we are advancing, we are going towards more advanced technology, more advanced algorithms, right? So that we can improve our models, we can improve our softwares, right? So we can see as a result of all these, we can see that in deep learning nowadays, some specific problems, like if I say like speech recognition, or you can say image classification, or you can say handwriting recognition, right? Handwriting recognition, all these things has been done in a very accurate manner. I mean, I want to say that 90%, 95, 99% of the accuracy based model has been implemented already in the market. So for example, like ipad is such a very good example where you can write something and that can be easily recognized by the software. So in that way, it is actually an image handwriting recognition technology, right? So we can say that how strong AI has now become. Next is last, which I want to tell you, is about broader investment. In the past decades, AI research and development was very much limited to universities or research institutions. But now, as you know, that investors are investing huge amount of fundings, so that the AI domain has been increased to a huge extent, right? AI has reached up to a very good level. It has reached up to a very good level, right? So you can say that in nowadays, AI investment is no longer constricted to the university laboratories only. Now, companies, private sector companies, industries, internet giants, they all are doing huge investment so that they can be utilizing the power or strength of AI, or you can say like deep learning. Right. Next is which I want to tell you is that in one sentence, if someone asks me that what is deep learning, in one sentence, I would say that it is an approach to the machine learning, right? When machine learning is being advanced, it reaches to some advanced level, it actually becomes the deep learning, right? So this is what the machine deep learning is. And deep learning is basically used for task specific algorithms, right? For example, for specific tasks, we are implementing some deep learning algorithms. This is what the deep learning is. If we talk about the characteristics of deep learning, we can say that they are actually the cascade of layers. Cascade of layers means that there are multiple layers in the processing unit, so that filtering all the layers and then generating the output. Right, that is what the cascade of layer works in deep learning, which was not at all present in the machine learning. Next is these algorithms or these models are basically used to learn both supervised as well as unsupervised methodologies, right? So this is what we can talk about in the this AI and machine learning. There is a difference in ML and DL, machine learning and DL, which we are talking about. But the thing is, main thing which you have to keep in your mind is that deep learning is more stronger than machine learning. Yes, definitely, deep learning will be having their own advantages, and machine learning is having its own advantages. So basically, the thing is all about the level of the purification. Next is that these whatever the deep learning model are, they actually learn from multiple levels of representation for different levels of abstraction. So this is what deep learning is. Why we are actually going towards deep learning? Was AI or ML was not at all sufficient to solve a specific problem? Yes, the answer is yes. Deep learning is providing you a more good platform, more better platform to like solve some business problem, right? Deep learning is using the networks where data is being transformed through number of layers, or you can say multiple layers before producing output. That means the better the more you are like cleansing the data, the better will be the result, isn't it? So if we talk about data cleansing, what I will say is that data cleansing is nothing. It is like a process of detecting or correcting the corrupt or inaccurate records from the database or the table, so that we can identify those incomplete or incorrect or irrelevant part of the data and replacing them or deleting them, so that we can have a very good rich source of database, so that that can be used to feed our model. This is what the deep learning and the data cleansing is. Now, let me tell you this analogy between the artificial neural network and the deep neural network. Artificial neural network means that ANN, which we in shortcut we used to say that ANN. If we talk about ANN, I will say that artificial neural network is nothing. It is basically a connectionist system. What is the meaning of connectionist system? Connectionist system means that there are connections in between the layers, so that they can produce a better result, right? For example, if we say that it is a computing system or it is a model where it is being using the biological neural network, right? Whatever brain system human being is having the brain system, that brain system, how it works, that is being depicted or that is being implemented in artificially in a network known as neural network, where we are actually doing this thing, right? For example, like if I talk that what is when ANN sees enough images of cat, right? There are thousands of images of cats, and then with the help of those images, if I train my model, then the model is now, if it is giving a correct result, then the model is right now is able to identify some other images of cat. That means testing images can be easily find out, right? So this is what the ANN is. And now if we talk about DNN, that is deep neural network. Deep neural network is nothing but when we create multiple layers, as I have told you earlier, if we create multiple layers, then that becomes a deep neural network. So what is deep neural network? In deep neural network, it is basically a non-linear relationship where we will be feeding the input of previous one to the input of present one neurons, right? Let's see what are the applications of deep learning. If we talk about the applications means which are the area where these are being implemented, right? So these are being implemented in the areas like automatic speech recognition, right? As we all know that there are many softwares which are available which are providing us a very good platform where they can easily recognize the speech of the person, right? So that is what the automatic speech recognition is. Next is image recognition. Yes, image recognition is again what? Image recognition is again an area where images can be easily recognized by from the software, right? So these are basically what? These are the application areas. Next is visual art processing. What is visual art processing? There are many areas where visually we are trying to create the some arts and then we are trying to depict it. So in next is natural language processing. Yes, we all know that when we talk to Google translates the whatever speech into some text part, right? That is natural language processing. Next is drug discovery and toxicology. Drug discovery and toxicology, as you all know that nowadays so many drugs has been is being used to for research and for many in biomedical processing also. So in that also we used to have the deep learning system. Customer relationship management, yes, CRM is being used nowadays in such a way so that we can implement the AI or deep learning models so that we can get a very good valuable feedback from the customer also, and that can be utilized for developing the better product of that particular company, right? Recommendation system, as you all know that this is the very huge, very good good area where researches are also being done. For example, like Facebook uses recommendation system. Many e-commerce website like Flipkart, Myntra, and all these uses recommendation system because we in e-commerce website, as you all know that once even if you are like log in with your account and you are selecting particular type of clothing, then that in the future also your according to your choices they used to give the recommendation on your account, right? That is what the recommendation system is. Bioinformatics, yes, bioinformatics is also again a very good research area where deep learning is being implemented in the companies as well. Mobile advertising, image restoration, these are being used in the deep learning application areas, right? We can say that there is a similarity between the neural network and the deep learning network. For example, as you all know, let me talk about some deep of the this neural network and the deep learning neural network. This is in front of you. I am showing the neuron model. What I have told you earlier is that neural network is actually influenced from the human brain, right? Human brain means the brain in our skull. It actually works like what? Whenever we are seeing something or touching something, we immediately get the signals from our brain and find that what type of thing I am touching currently, right? So in the same way, as soon as the signals are being processed in our brain, the same thing is happening in the artificial neural network, where we can say that we are actually giving the inputs like x1, x2, x3. These are inputs, and all the different inputs are having different weights, w1, w2, w3, and all of them are being processed through some function. The thing which you are able to see here, this one, let me use this one. This is what? This is the activation function. This is the activation function, right? So activation function is what? Activation function is it is being used to compute what type of thing is what type of value through which we will passing these values, so that we can generate some kind of output, right? So we can say that to keep the simple, I can say that neural network is actually designed for the set of layers, each one containing nodes. The circular form which you are seeing is the nodes, right? Each let me show you the next one, this one. In this we can see that there are circular forms, right? All the circles are actually the nodes, and each node has a state representing the floating number between 0 and 1. When this state is near to its minimum value, the node is considered inactive, or you can say off state, right? When it is in maximum, we can say that node is considered as an active state, right? So this is what, and each connection has a weight, so that active node in the previous layer may contribute more or less to the activity of the node in the next layer, right? While an inactive node will not propagate any contribution. And now if we talk about weight, the weight of the connection may also be negative, meaning that the node in the previous layer is contributing to the inactivity of the node in the next layer. So for the sake of simplicity, if we talk about is that in front of you, the whatever diagram you are seeing here in front of you, we can say that there are total 3 different layers. First layer is the input layer. This one is the input layer. Then there is a hidden layer, and then there is the output layer, right? In input layer, here through these nodes, I will be sending the inputs, right? And this node will send input to all the 3 layers, right? Similarly, this layer will send the input to all the 3 layers, right? So the processing will take place at this position. Just a minute. The processing will take place in the hidden layer. Hidden layer will do the processing, and then it will be sent to the output layer, and then finally it will be sent to the output layer. So this is what? This is the neural network diagram in front of you, right? Similarly, if we talk about deep learning neural network, what we will say that instead of one single layer, there will be multiple layers. And all the layers will equally be containing the nodes, and these nodes will be used to holding the values of the previous node computations, and then it will be sent to the output node, right? This is what the neural network is. Now, this is a simple example in front of you of deep learning image recognition neural network. See, all of you, what we are trying to do is input layer is there. Let me highlight it. This is the input layer, right? Through this layer, I am sending the input, and there are 2 different layers in the middle of the system, and there is one output layer, right? In the input layer, we are providing different type of inputs, right? And all the inputs are being fed to all the nodes of the hidden layer, right? All the inputs are being fed to all the inputs of the hidden layer. For example, like these are the images, right? We don't talk about direct images, we talk about the pixels of the images, right? We talk about the pixels of the images. And whenever we talk about the pixels of the images, we are sending it to the different nodes. Different nodes means that First node will be the node for eye. For example, second node resembles you the nose. Third node resembles you the ears and mouth and so many, right? So with the help of these inputs, we can easily process the model so that we can find whether the images here, the image pixels which is representing here are actually representing the eye feature or not, right? If it is not able to do here, then again it is being fed to next layer, and again it is being fed to next layer, and so on. Similarly, at the end, all the contributions, all the node contribution are being fed to the output node, and then it is being recognized whether the image is of any kind of face or not. So this is what the deep learning neural network works, right? So deep learning neural network, this is the learning process. At the beginning, what we are doing, at the beginning we are trying to learn, we are trying to fed the input, and according to some weight we are trying to give input to the first layer, and then first layer will propagate and generate some random output, right? This output is then compared to the desired output for the input presented, and then it is being fed to the next layer and then next layer and so on. After processing through multiple layers, the output is being generated, right? In the middle of all these things, in the middle of all these things, in the middle of, in the hidden layer, what we can say is that we try to check the errors, we try to check the errors as well as we try to check the factors, different, some more other factors like learning rate or back propagation activity and many more things, so that we can generate the output in a better way, so that we can generate the output in a more refined way. This is what the deep learning neural network does. So if I say that if I talk about like if something happens in this layer, right? Something happens wrong in this layer. What it will do? It will try to go back to the last layer, and then again it will start making the process. Again it will start like it will again start computing the process, right? Deep learning. Let me tell you one thing, that the godfather who has actually given the term, given the area of deep learning is Geoffrey Hinton. So according to Geoffrey Hinton, he said that we have to keep on trying the same thing again and again for the hidden layer, so that until unless we are able to recognize the input object, whatever input object we are sending, whatever input we are sending, that has to be like recognized, or that has to be processed, so that the problem, whatever business problem was in front of you, that is being solved, right? So the problem sums up to like saying that finding the minimum like n dimensional surface, so that you can find the best possible answer, right? And also you have to minimize the learning rate, so that the result can be processed easily, and the network may receive the output in a desired method, in a desired manner and desired way, right? This is what the this one deep learning neural network is, right? Hope so. I'm right now, till then, anyone is having any question right till now? If no, then I can move forward. All right. I don't think that there has been any chat thing. All right. Let's talk about that, why this field is having such a great success nowadays. Why this is being happening, right? There are basically two reasons. The availability of huge amount of data, right? From smartphone, from devices, from IoT sensors, from internet. There are so many data is being accumulating, right? And all the data need for the training set, right? So when we are having a huge amount of data, what we will do, we will try to create some model, we will try to develop some model, so that model will be able to do some processing and create some desired result, generate some particular desired result, right? So this is what the like our aim is. And the second thing which I will like to tell you is that computational power of modern computers are actually so huge, so wide, that it allows us to reduce the training phase, right? Instead of weeks or days, nowadays in one single day we can easily train the computers, or you can say models directly, and so that we can easily get some desired result. So this is what the actual the real result is, the main important result, right? So this is the thing. Next thing which I want to tell you is, let me, yes, last thing which I want to tell you about this applicable is that deep learning algorithms and applications are provided to be very effective and result oriented. Nowadays, it has been completely proved that deep learning algorithms are huge in demand, is high in demand, and only condition stands if the inference made is valid. Whatever result you are actually expecting, whether it is correct, or whether it is valid or not, if it is valid, then definitely deep learning is going to give you a good result. And this means that training and test conditions should be similar, right? So that you can test the incoming data and implementing it on the model, so that you can have a very good result. For example, like you are trying to make a software for handwriting recognition, and you are utilizing that software for image recognition, right? That cannot be possible. So you should be knowing that what type of data set it, for what type of data set it will be working. Next is deep learning, basically stands for problem specific solutions. Yes, as I have told you, that deep learning is for one specific solution. It will not work. For example, it is being, it's a huge or tough software that is being used, right? So this is what we say. Well, as you all know that Gartner, there is a one very big, huge giant named Gartner. In 2018, Gartner estimated that machines will author 20% of all business content, and it is expected that 6 billion internet connected devices will be generating a deluge of data, right? That is, you can just imagine that how huge amount of data is being generated and will be generated in the future. And we all need a good software, we all need a good algorithm model, so that we can process those data, right? When we are having a huge number of data, how can you say that how can you say that it is not being, it is just for, just as a kept in library? No, it is not. No longer, you can say, like, no longer is AI confined to science fiction movies. AI and machine learning are finding real world applicability and adoption. Understood? That is what we are saying, that as you all know, that artificial intelligence was first, like on artificial intelligence, the first research paper was written by Alan Turing, in the year 1950, when he has said, he had just coined a term known as computing machinery and intelligence. According to Turing, in that paper, what he has written is that he has asked one single question, and that one single question was absolutely changed the totality of the environment. It has absolutely changed the thinking model of every scientist. He has asked in his paper that, can machines think? Can machines think? That means whether machine is able to think. When once he has coined this particular term, he in this particular question, after that the birth of AI was done in the year 1956. Can you imagine? Alan Turing has given the term in the 1950 research paper, and in 1956, first time AI field was being used, or it is being created by a group of researchers in the Dartmouth College, who have aimed to create a programming computer that will behave like a human. It was at Dartmouth where the term first time artificial intelligence was proposed, was given. And then after that, concepts from the conference has been crystallized to form legitimate, that is valid or legal interdisciplinary research area. Understood? That means from 1956, the AI was first introduced. After that, in the next decade, progress in AI has been experienced a boom in the, or you can say burst in the cycles. As the algorithms were advancing, the more the AI technologies were coming in the market. In 1968, there was a science fiction film in 2001, A Space Odyssey, which has helped AI to leave an indelible impression in mainstream consciousness. When you can say that a sentient computer, that is HAL 9000, uttered the famous line, "I'm sorry, Dave, I'm afraid I can't do that." So there are few more movies you can line up like Star Wars and and many intelligent robot based movies, right? So it wasn't in the late 1990s that AI began to transition from science fiction to real world applicability. Actually, it has first started in 1997 when IBM for the first time has developed a chess program beating at the then world champion Gary Kasparov. I believe that you all have heard his name, Gary Kasparov from Russia. He was beaten by IBM's chess program, that is, you can say, a computer, in the year 1997, right? And then researchers also began trying to focus on sub problems of AI and trying to harness it to solve real world applications such as image recognition, or you can say speech recognition, and many more things. After the evolvement of AI, there comes in the last one decade, you can say that there has been happening the introduction of deep learning. Once the in 2006, you can say that Geoffrey Hinton in the University of Toronto made a modification in the artificial neural network, which he called as like deep learning. Hinton added multiple layers in the artificial neural network, as we have discussed in today's class here, multiple layers in this example. See here, as I've told you that there are so many layers. So what he has done in 2006, Geoffrey Hinton, he has modified the artificial neural network and tried to coin the term deep neural network, where he has tried to implement multiple layers, right? Multiple layers to artificial neural network, and then mathematically optimized the results from each layer so that learning accumulated faster up the stack of layers. Whatever the stack of layer is there, faster learning can be happening, right? After that, after 2006, in the year 2012, there are famous Stanford University researcher, or you can say professor, Andrew Ng, who took the initiative to improve the deep learning and tried to take it one step further, where he has implemented deep neural network using GPUs, right? Since GPUs, as you all know, that have massively parallel architecture that can consist of thousands of cores designed to handle multiple tasks simultaneously, in which Andrew Ng also tried to cluster the GPUs and tried to train the deep learning model as much as fast he can, so that it is much more faster than general purpose CPU, right? Rather than taking weeks or days to generate a model, with traditional CPUs, he was able to perform same task in a day with GPUs. Just can you all imagine that how fast the processor became, so that whatever task was being done for a week, that has been constricted to one single day. That means how fast the processing is being done. That is what I am saying, that deep learning has advanced the concept of artificial neural network. Whatever we have learned right now these days, as many days, that AI, now it is the time for deep learning, right? When we are able to when you are able to implement the concepts in deep learning network, then only you will be able to understand what actually the applicability is, what actually the implementation area is. So this is what I would like to tell you all about. So for you guys, whosoever present in the other side of the laptop screen, I would like to suggest you all that if you are interested, if you are trying to do some kind of research work or some kind of, you are focused for one specific problem or business problem, right? There are many students who are actually focused on one single problem. So for them, try to use or try to learn deep learning methodology. Once you are able to learn deep learning methodology, then you will be master in that particular area. No one can definitely beat you. So basically here what you have to try, what I'm trying to tell you is that how much important nowadays deep learning has become. Deep learning is so important that you have to give your full, so that you can be able to create the model. AI, machine learning, they all are kids in front of deep learning. They all are like bigger part. So this is what the deep learning network was. Any question answer? Goresh, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, there are some questions. Should I read it to you?
Yes, yes, yes.
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah,
So, should I read the questions to you?
yeah.
Yeah. So, Parth is asking how to start learning deep learning.
Okay. Parth, the first thing which you have to keep in your mind, that whenever you are trying to learn any kind of machine learning, AI or ML, first thing is that you have to be very good in Python programming or R programming. Once you are habitual of making a programs, when your logic or concepts are clear, that how to use syntaxes to solve some particular problem, then you come to deep learning. When you are talking about deep learning, then pick a simple problem, pick any kind of problem, and try to find that how to solve a particular object, right, problem. For example, like if I say that I want to if I say that I want to find the person is wearing mask or not, then how you will do? You have to do, you have to do a program, you have to create a program that is able to find out the person is wearing actually a mask or he is just hiding his face with a tissue paper, right? So there should be that level of deep computation should be there, deep research should be there, so that you can easily identify whether the person is wearing the mask or not. So deep learning, for starting the deep learning, you have to first excel in R or Python, and then try to pick any problem and then just go through it. Try to learn some algorithms, try to learn some activation functions, and then implement those algorithms to your model, right? So this is what you can do. All right, Goresh, next question. Can we take next question?
Yes, ma'am. There is another question from Anuj. He's asking
Okay.
what are the prerequisites of deep learning, its advantages and career upliftment, and how can we do practice it?
All right. Um, as I have told you, the here, just all of you look into my slide. Uh, this deep learning application area. These are the different areas where you can focus on by learning. Once you are excelled in deep learning, you can go to any of the area. There are so many private companies, there are so many even government companies are also using a different kind of structure like these, right? So what you can do is just start making the program, learn the algorithms, try to implement those algorithms in that particular Python programming or R programming. And then once you are able to implement the algorithms, pick the problem, business problem, and then try to research it. by learning, by like deep learning, after studying this deep learning algorithm, what you can do is you can go for research, you can go for research based companies like R&D of any company, like R&D of Samsung, or you can go for R&D of Facebook, or you can go for R&D in Amazon. Each and every company has their own R&D department, research and development department. Uber, Ola, these all are having their own departments, R&D departments. So each of them are actually using DL applications, right? So by learning deep learning, we can go for these companies. We can apply for these companies, right? Just only thing you have to keep in your mind is that you have to do projects. Once you are able to complete a project end to end, that means from starting to ending, if the project is at working condition, definitely you will be able to crack some interview from the of any company's R&D department. All right, Shreyash.
Yes, ma'am. That was all the questions those were asked. However, if any other questions you have, you can write down in the question section box, and we'll answer those for you.
Fast, all of you, fast.
Yes, ma'am. There are two questions. So let me start with Anuj. He's asking,
Yes.
yeah, what is the process to start learn deep learning?
Process, Anuj.
Yeah.
Anuj, the process is what? A process means that see, one thing is clear. All of you make yourself clear that if you are going for machine learning, deep learning, AI, whatever area you are choosing, first thing is that programming language. You have to do the programming concepts clear, and then you have to go. You have to learn some specific algorithms, some specific algorithms, so that you can use those algorithms to solve some business problem, right? So that is the only prerequisite to start deep learning, nothing else. Just learn the language and then just move on to the directly to the program. And yes, definitely. For example, like if you are doing image processing, right? For image processing, what you will do? You have to learn about images, right? You should know about images, that what type of image it is, what is the pixels, what are the pixel values at a particular location, isn't it? For example, like if I talk about cancer detection, what I will say, that a particular organ is suffering from a particular disease. So that particular area will be affected highly as compared to other areas of that organ, isn't it? So what we can say, like this in the same way, that images has to be processed in such a way so that you can easily detect the infected area, isn't it? So that is what you should be knowing, how to utilize your algorithm, your program, so that you can differentiate this particular type of thing, that infected area versus non-infected area. All right.
Right. Yes, ma'am. There are several more questions.
I can see the questions right now, Shreyash.
You are able
In
to
which
see it,
question
right?
you are right now? Yeah, I just.
Yeah. Right now, I was going to the Ganga's question relating to what is the average time required to learn deep learning starting from Python.
All right.
Yeah.
So I think, Shreyash, this is what is the duration of the course of this deep learning is? 6 months, I think, na? 6 months or 12 months?
No, ma'am, it is 12 months. However,
12 months.
Ganga is asking regarding like if we start to learn the deep learning process and learn Python, how much time will it take in general, not in the course?
If it is general,
Yeah.
then you will hardly take 3 to 4 months maximum, right? And if you are
Right.
going for like doing a course or particular degree or diploma, something like that, definitely it will take 6 months to 1 year of time.
Right. Yes, deep learning is also included in the machine learning program, where along with deep learning, you will be learning about supervised and unsupervised learning and various other topics. And also for case studies, there will be various real life applications on which you will be working, like Python, Tableau, and many other softwares. So if you can just look at the amityfutureacademy.com and you can look at the various courses we have over there and decide if you want to avail it for the course.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. You can.
Shreyash, there is one more question from Sayashri Bandaru.
Yeah.
Sayashri, you are asking that you are having. I am seeing that you are having experience as a software engineer, right? But you don't have experience in AI or deep neural network or deep learning, right? So you are asking that how can we work on projects on our own? Yes, Sayashri, see, you are software engineer, that means that you know programming, right? So you do not have to bother about programming languages. Now what your thing is that you have to do some projects. Yes, definitely you have to go for some projects. Until unless you are not able to deliver a complete project, no company will take your CV as their own consideration, right? And definitely they will be accepting you even if you are not having experience, because nowadays there is a huge requirement of deep learning like engineers, or you can say AI engineers or machine learning enthusiasts, right? So nowadays there is a huge demand, so do not worry about that. There is the companies do hire freshers in a very good package. Even though you are not a fresher, I don't think that you will be counted as a fresher. You are already having an experience of software engineer, right? So your experience will be counted. Do not worry about that. All right. Shreyas, any more question? I think most of the questions are related to each other.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So I don't think if is there any question, then we can wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Otherwise, Shreyash, you can take it.
Yeah. So if anybody has any more questions, please write it down and let's wait for another 1 to 2 minutes. And if hi Gopesh, yes, we will be teaching Python from the basics in the course, and there are various other topics which will be also included. There is another question from Saisri. Like, can we work on any project on our own by taking data sets from Kaggle? Ma'am, can you answer this?
Sashri, actually, see, if you download some data set from Kaggle and doing some project, yes, that is perfectly fine. You can do it. But the thing is that the data set which is available in Kaggle is already been used by so many people, right? There are huge across the globe. People are doing the same thing. So in what Amity is providing you is that Amity is providing you some their own data sets, and then uh, finding out some like solving some live business problem. So it will be a different experience, and downloading something from Kaggle will be having a different experience for sure. So if you just want to do the experience part only, then Kaggle is fine. But if you want to experience some live problem, then you have to have a good data sets, fine data set and fresh data set. All right, Seshri. Next question is Anuj from Anuj. Shreyas.
Yes, Anuj, yes, we have a placement team with us, and after the completion of program, they make sure that you are selected in a good company, and there are various careers that you can opt with the course completed. So if you need any more information regarding the course, you can directly log on to amityfutureacademy.com and get the information over there. And you can also call us back by clicking on the button right at the top of the website, and we'll call you right back for any questions you have.
Ganga is asking something.
Yes. This totally online, and there will be webinars just like now, where every faculty will be coming in and taking the webinars face to face, and then you will be able to ask the questions directly to them. Thank you. Does anybody have any more questions? Yes, let me just write it down that for you. Yeah.
He's asking, Parth is asking about the website.
Yeah, I'm just writing that down. Yes, I have shared the link with all of you. You can check it over there in the chat section. I hope those are the questions. And thank you, ma'am, for joining us. And thank you, everyone, for joining us as well. And
Thank you,
hope
Chef.
everybody
Thank you,
is doing
everyone.
fine. Let's wrap up the session then. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.